And tonight, we celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Army Aviation Hall of Fame. It was established in 1963, and the Hall of Fame is a real hall. You can go there. It's located at Fort Rucker, Alabama, where the portraits and citations of the inductees cite their contributions to Army aviation. Tonight, 3 individuals will join those inductees who have made an indelible impact on our branch and indeed upon organic Army aviation since its inception, 6 June 1942, 71 years ago. Counting our new inductees, there are only 152 people in the Army Aviation Hall of Fame. These people represent a broad spectrum of our community, including 97 officers, 24 warrants, 19 enlisted men, 9 aviation industry individuals, and 3 government employees. 16 members of the Hall of Fame have received the Medal of Honor. Now, I'd like to ask the trustees of the Hall of Fame to please stand and be recognized. Would you stand, please? And joining them, all members of the Hall of Fame who are with us tonight, please stand. Thank you. Unfortunately, we lost a 2007 inductee of your hall this last year. Chief Warrant 5 retired Mary Cara Smalley. Please, let's take a moment of silence for this outstanding aviator. Thank you. Now, let's start this year's inductions. Our first inductee this evening is Command Sergeant Major retired Donnie D. Calvary, Jr. Please come forward with your Hall of Fame escort, General retired Doug Brown.
Command Sergeant Major Donnie Calvary entered the Army on July 31st, 1973, becoming an aircraft armament repairman, and volunteered for service in Task Force 160 10 years later. His exceptional leadership skills and dedication to the Special Operations Aviation mission allowed him to rise through the ranks, serving 19 of his 30-year career in the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment Airborne, culminating as the Regimental Command Sergeant Major. He was there for the unit's baptism of fire in Operation Urgent Fury, the first of many combat operations as a Night Stalker, and was the epitome of the unit's motto, "Night Stalkers Don't Quit." Of particular significance was his participation in the first combat airborne operation since Vietnam, the first jumper out the door during Operation Just Cause, and the selection and training and he was instrumental in the development of programs for the selection and training of enlisted members volunteering to serve in the 160th SOAR-A. His personal attention to the needs of families led to formation of family readiness groups to support the needs of Night Stalker families separated by the constant deployment of service members. He is an exceptional soldier whose outstanding accomplishments and selfless service contributed significantly to the success of the 160th SOAR-A and the Army Aviation Branch. His career embodies what Aviation Branch envisioned as the model for young enlisted aviator maintainers to emulate. Command Sergeant Major Calvary retired in 2003 and continues serving as a force modernization analyst, providing his experience, technical expertise, and Special Operations Forces knowledge to the future transformation of SOF aviation.
Command Sergeant Major Calvary, would you like to say a few words?
Just a few.
Thank you.
Very, very few. I want to thank the Quad A, the Hall of Fame. This is most certainly a most dynamic time in my life. It's unbelievable. But thank you very much for this award. It doesn't mean a lot to me. That's not the right thing. It means a heck of a lot to me. But it means more to the people that I dealt with every day, all day, every day, doing the things that they do. Thank you very much, and I appreciate it. Night Stalkers don't quit. Thanks.
Thank you. Our next inductee this evening is Major General retired Thomas W. Garrett. Please come forward with your Hall of Fame escort, Major General retired Lou Hennies.
Major General retired Tom Garrett's achievements during an exemplary career as a soldier and Army aviator are far-reaching, as he distinguished himself, the Army, and Army aviation with exceptional meritorious service. This warrior, leader, mentor made tremendous contributions to the advancement of Army aviation, and equally, and perhaps even more importantly, to the critical early and mid-career development of subordinates, many of whom went on to distinguished and high-profile careers within the Army and aviation branch, to include 2 former Vice Chiefs of Staff, an aviation branch chief, other general officers, and a number of Aviation Hall of Famers. This highly decorated combat veteran served in Vietnam and later Desert Shield and Storm, where he commanded, trained, and led the 101st Airborne Division Air Assault Aviation Brigade, the largest Army aviation rotary wing task force in conventional land warfare history. The preparation, execution, and results of that blitzing 100-hour war in the harshest of flying environments against the former 4th largest army in the world are documented and well known. His masterful understanding of Army aviation capabilities and ability to plan for and execute their optimum use was a difference maker. His brigade unleashed overwhelming force at multiple points simultaneously in terms of reconnaissance, attack, and assault, serving as a textbook for planning and flawless battlefield execution. He validated and advanced Army aviation's body of knowledge in conventional warfare and has left an indelible mark on Army aviation and its future leaders.
General Garrett will now say a few words.
It's hard for me to describe what an incredible honor this is for me. I'm especially honored that all my kids would drop out of their busy lives and come out here to Fort Worth to be with old Dad tonight. And so many of my Army family are here tonight. I mean, I look around the room and almost everybody in this place has touched our lives somewhere along the way, some multiple times, some for years. Lou Hennis, I've known for 40 years. Lou taught me how to take an ass chewing and enjoy it. It's true. As we served for a tyrant of a squadron commander we had back in the early 70s, 3rd and 5th Cav. We had fun in that unit anyway with the likes of Pete Corelli, King Quinlan, Bob Fricks, Ron Adams. Rod Wolf. I reported into the first of 4 fantastic tours in the mighty 101st to Colonel Rod Wolf, commander of the 101st Aviation Group. I was coming out of West Point where I was teaching in the leadership department and thought I knew a thing or two about that until Rod made me his adjutant in XO, so I was around him all the time, almost every day. And I got a PhD in leadership watching that man operate. Thanks, Rod. Army aviation has been my passion, beyond Sweet Betsy, who's sitting down there at table 5. When I was in the 8th grade, my dad was in the Army. He was running the jump school, Fort Benning. We were stationed at Fort Benning. I would ride my bicycle down to Lawson Army Airfield, those bluffs above Lawson Army Airfield, watching these swarms of H-19s, H-34s, H-37s. Anybody remember what a H-37 looks like? That's got to be me. I got to do this. Little did I know that was the historic air mobility experiments being put on by the 11th Air Assault, which would later convert the 1st Cav Division and the 101st into our air mobile divisions. The deal was sealed when I was a cadet at West Point, and I was taking this course called Revolutionary Warfare. It was really about how we got to where we were in Vietnam at the time. My instructor was this young major fresh back from Vietnam. He brought in his pictures. And he was an Aero Scout pilot flying an H-13 with a manhole cover in his seat for armor protection. That young major's name was Jack Woodmansee, sitting out there. I'm sure he doesn't remember me. I don't remember what grade I got in. Fresh out of flight school and a Cobra transition, I stepped off the airplane in Vietnam into the Battle of An Lac, and probably the Army's most famous Cobra outfit, Blue Max. That's where I learned what right looked like and the vital importance of discipline that keeps a unit fighting effectively when things get ugly, the casualties mount, and get personal. And Bob Monette and Doug Madigan were out there with me. In that time, they remember when they were shooting us down with SA-7s and that fun time at An Lac. I'll never forget those brave men. I've been so blessed to serve with hundreds of fantastic people. Luckily, many of them remain part of our lives, the Codys, the Currans, the Quinlans, the Wolves. I mean, I could tell stories about most people in this room, so if anybody needs leverage, just let me know. What a great honor. Thank you so much.
Great.
Thank you, General Garrett. Here tonight to help him celebrate are Tom's wife, Betsy, their daughter, Tracy Sears, and her husband, Jeffrey, daughter, Megan Grubmeyer, and her husband, Andrew, and son, Matthew Garrett. Would you stand and let the audience recognize you, please? Our final inductee this evening is Lieutenant General retired August M. Cianciolo, deceased, represented by his wife Sheila and his son, Lieutenant Colonel Tony Cianciolo. Unfortunately, General Cianciolo passed away April 4th, 2012, as a result of an automobile accident. Please come forward with your Hall of Fame escort, Major General retired Andy Andresen.
Lieutenant General retired August M. Gus Cianciolo, a Master Army aviator, helped shape Army aviation through dedicated application of visionary leadership and management skills over a 34-year career. His distinguished career includes 2 tours in Vietnam, where he commanded B Battery, 2nd of the 20th Aerial Rocket Artillery, ARA, and served as the Battalion S3. During each tour, his superior leadership led to his unit receiving special recognition for valorous performance. His individual bravery was also recognized with a Bronze Star for valor. Other distinguished service included program management of 2 Army acquisition programs, the Standoff Target Acquisition System, and the Multiple Launch Rocket System. As the Army Staff Director of Weapons Systems, he was responsible for oversight of the development, funding, fielding, and sustainment of all Army aviation programs, to include the Black Hawk, Apache, Chinook, and Kiowa Warrior. Serving as the commanding general of the Army Missile Command and Redstone Arsenal, he led the development, production, and fielding of the Hellfire missile on attack and armed reconnaissance helicopters. Culminating his career as the military deputy to the Army Acquisition Executive and director of the Army Acquisition Corps, he provided management oversight of all Army acquisition programs. General Cianciolo's ability to work effectively with senior leaders and subordinates ensured that there was one voice advocating for Army aviation. His sustained outstanding leadership established a bedrock foundation for the Army's highly capable combat aviation systems of today and tomorrow.
Would you like to say a few words,
Please.
Tony? This is his son, Colonel Tony Cianciolo.
First of all, I'd like to say, wow, what a week. It's been great. Quad A, you've done a wonderful job. You brought this family atmosphere, and it's very important to an Italian family, let me tell you right now. But we've had a wonderful week and met a lot of people, folks that I've known since I was 2 years old. And I just want to thank everyone that put this together. I'm not sure everybody knew Gus Cianciolo here. I know there's a lot of folks who didn't know him. But let me tell you about Gus Cianciolo. Gus Cianciolo had an extremely positive attitude towards life. He loved people, he loved soldiers, and he loved Army aviation. And I think back and try to figure out when that passion actually started. And it was in ROTC at Xavier University in Cincinnati, Ohio. That's where he's from. And I don't think he ever had any intentions of, making a career out of the Army. It was something that fell upon him. But he took flight lessons at Lunken Airfield, and that passion started. And now I look back at 33 years, and I don't think he ever thought that his passion would be his profession. He absolutely loved it. So if you're ever in Washington, D.C., I know many of you folks go there, please stop by Section 60 in Arlington Cemetery. Beautiful grass field, all the way down, last row, about 5 headstones in. You'll see his tombstone. And around him, many aviators, warriors that have paid the ultimate sacrifice, and that's where he resides now. You wouldn't have had it any other way. So again, Quad A, thank you very much for bestowing such a great honor to our family and recognizing a man who truly loved what he did. And thank you for letting his legacy live on. Thank you very much.
That was a great talk.
Also here tonight to honor General Cianciolo are his daughter, Terry Henderson, and her husband, Jim, his son, Tony, who you just met, and his wife, Erin, his sisters, Sue Hawtz, Carol Held, and Diane Hood, and his brother, Joe, and his wife, Jeannie. Could you please stand and be recognized? Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for your attendance this evening and your continued outstanding support for the Army Aviation Hall of Fame. On behalf of all of its members, you have our deep gratitude for your support and recognition. This concludes our proceedings.